above there. So I used to watch it getting cleaned in the morning.
Oh, you were in the hotel Fontana?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And
so you
there's
have
a
breakfast up
balcony.
the top?
Yes.
Oh, that's so nice up there, huh?
Fantastic.
Not many people have had that experience. They can look down on it.
Look down, and early in the morning, there is no one there. That's when they clean it out. So we've been.
How did you find that? You just
through a travel agent. Because what I
you knew you were going to be right on the.
Well, what I want to do, we went to the places we went to. I said to the travel agent, I want it something to be something special. So, on the Amalfi Coast, we were right on the Mediterranean, and this big villa. So it was like, I don't care how much it's going to cost, but I just want to make sure that every place we stay is going to be memorable.
Sure.
So she found it for me. She said, look, I've got this place. It's not a big place. Like, you have you stayed there?
Yeah, well, I've been there. I had breakfast, and I was a guest.
Yeah, okay. Well, we stayed. It's not a big. You have to very
it's
small.
a bit rickety and whatever, but it's so well appointed. And that terrace up the top.
And the breakfast up there was sensational. We were on the same floor as the kitchen, where the breakfast was served.
In that case, I picked the right picture to show you today.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's a cool place. There's no doubt about it. So, what do you think about when you see this picture?
That brings back such fond memories. The time when we were there with Annie, that whole thing, having breakfast, watching him clean the fountain, and then just watching the people just absolutely congregate like ants around it once they opened it up. Till the afternoon, you just couldn't walk through the place. So yeah, fantastic memories.
Anything that you dislike about it?
Not really, no.
Not really? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What's not to like, huh?
No, well, that's true.
You've obviously been there, and you've been to Italy. How long ago was that?
2011. So.
What are your main memories from Italy? What do you remember most?
My memories from Italy was some of the places we stayed at, because we went with the purpose of trying to make it an experience that we'd never forget. So we had that apartment in Rome on the Amalfi Coast. I said we're on the absolute Mediterranean. You could jump out of our balcony into the Mediterranean Sea. In Taormina, we had this beautiful villa at the top of the mountain. So everything about it was, terrific. So the issue for me is, if you go back, you may never be able to replicate that. So anything going back might be a disappointment, but it was just one of those periods in your life where everything was fantastic.
Cool. So Italian products. What do you normally buy? What brands?
I don't have really brands. I love to buy more Italian stuff like Ferraris and things like that. But
then things like food, like you buy Barilla.
Yeah, those sort of things. Yeah, we've got Segafetto, coffee machine at work. I mean, in certain products, Italian brands have a perception of quality. Some maybe not so much, but in certain brands, absolute car manufacturing, clothing. Like I love Italian clothes, that sort of thing. But whether that's probably I don't go chasing Italian brands or anything. I don't drive an Italian car, but to me, Italian engineering is always should be first class. That's how it was, was originally intended.
Sure.
So yeah, I can't say that I'm a strong supporter of Italian brands, but when I have the opportunity, and when I buy Italian, I always associate it with, it's going to be a good quality product, whether it's a lounge suite or whatever it is. You'd think, well, it's Italian, therefore there's some quality about it.
And then, of course, you have things like this. We come to pastry shops and products and so forth.
Absolutely.
Restaurants and stuff like that.
Favourite restaurants are Italian. So we frequent a lot of Italian restaurants. I wouldn't say most Italian, but a lot of Italian restaurants. So Italian food is obviously my favourite cuisine. So whether it's this sort of pastry stuff or the pastas, the pizzas, I'll probably, in terms of food, it's probably far more Italian in terms of my taste and what food I eat than I am probably in other areas.
Great. So the Fiat 500, I know it was on an iPhone, so it's hard to see, but what do you think? What story do you think the ad tells?
The story the ad tells is you buy a Fiat, like you buy an Italian product like Fiat, and you become part of the Italian culture. It overtakes you.
Great. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's easy to me feel that way because I am, Italian. So I love that sort of thing. I'd be very happy to be driving. I can remember when we were on the Amalfi Coast, we hired a little Fiat 500, and it was just like the movies, running up down the coast like that. So, and I felt very much at home in that environment. So, I mean, I think the marketers of the product have really hit the money, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of it?
What is the meaning of it? The meaning of it is, I suppose, that when you buy Italian products, there's a passion that goes with it. There's a whole culture that is part of Italy, which you can get some sense of, even though you may not be Italian or have no understanding of it. But that sort of highly expressive, passionate, that's part of being Italian, and most people recognise that.
Yep.
Whoever it is, they recognise Italians always passionate, always throwing their hands around, always speaking quickly, speaking loudly, so be part of that. And interesting, the ad, by the time a week later, they're the ones who are the Italians.
How do you identify with it, mate? I mean, it's obviously something you connect with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great ad. I've not seen it before, but that's a great ad. I would think that ad would be successful in most places in the world. Maybe some places that it won't because they don't understand the Italian culture. Certainly in Australia, that ad would be very, very successful. I can easily identify with it.
Would you like to be part of it? Why and to what extent?
Part of
that experience.
Yeah, that's why I spend so much time with Italians and trying to do Italian things, because I do want to be part of it. It gives me a great sense of my heritage, my background, things that I perhaps lost when I was growing up, discarded perhaps when I was growing up. I now want to embrace. So that's all part of that experience. So yeah, I very much identify with that.
So looking at the picture of the Italian Street Festival,
yep.
How would you tell a friend what this is about, or what it's like? How would you describe it?
How I describe it, if it was a friend that understood about Italians and a bit about how Italians behave, I'd describe it as it's like one big family festival where you're going to eat nice food, you're going to have a lot of laughs, it's going to be loud, there's going to be music playing, and it's just going to be sort of a high energy environment. So it's be prepared to be sort of sort of swept up in that whole process.
Why did you attend the festival?
Well, from my personal point of view, I attended the festival because we are a sponsor of the Italian Week. But I mean, that sort of festival is a place that I'm attracted to because of what I just mentioned. The fact that growing up as an Italian, you are used to a lot of people eating, drinking, being loud, that sort of high energy is what you grow up with. You do have big families. I can remember having 30, 35 people at Easter or Christmas at my mum's place, and that was just right, immediate family. So, and it was always high energy, and that reminds me of that. So you've got the individual tables will be just going off, the guys playing, so it gets you in that mood that it's very Italian, and normally it's just terrific night. They're great nights.
Okay. Would you attend the festival again, and why?
Absolutely. For that reason, I mean, they energise me, those sort of things. So I get to meet new people, which is important not only from a business perspective but from a personal perspective. The more I meet Italians and the more I re-engage with them if I've met them previously, the more I get accepted into that community, and I know now I can go into a group of Italians and I might know a couple of them, and they might actually acknowledge me and say hello, whereas previously I knew very, very few Italians. So, and that's important. The fact that a community that you really are part of, should be part of, actually recognises you and knows who you are, and hopefully they want to engage with you because they respect what you do.
So, what are the pluses and minuses of the festival and why? Like the pros and cons?
I mean, the pros, it depends how you look at it. As an individual, as a community. I mean, as a plus, hopefully it sells a message about Italy and its culture to a broader audience. So you get people who perhaps have never been to Italy, who perhaps know very little about the culture, can get some exposure to it, and those sort of events normally would make them feel quite energised and want to be part of it. In the case for me, you get people who are perhaps Italians but born in Australia, and perhaps have not had a lot of that experience of the Italian festivals, so it gives them an understanding of the sort of culture that they're part of but perhaps never experienced, and I think it just promotes the idea of Italians and what they represent to the broader community. The downside, I don't know if there's any downside. I don't know. I don't think that people who go along to an Italian event are disappointed often. So I don't know if there's any downside. Obviously, it's a bit of organising involved, but for someone who just attends as a participant, very little downside from my point of view.
So, during Italian Week, I know you've been to a few of them, what did you buy or consume during that festival? I mean, I know you were at this event, for example.
Yep. Well, I mean, during that week, we try and participate as much as we can. So, we've been to the malls when it was going. We've been to heaps of restaurants during Italian Week in large groups. And again, you get the opportunity to taste Italian food cooked by another chef. You get the opportunity to meet people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. That's probably what I've been also involved in the opening ceremonies, where again you get an opportunity to meet co-sponsors and build relationships on that basis. Interestingly enough, Adam Luck, who is a guy I met very briefly at one of the dinners, is now a client of mine. He actually made contact with me subsequent to it, out of the blue, and that's like months later, and just said, we'll meet you at the dinner. I know you do insurance. Could you mind having a look at my insurances? And we were able to help him out. So that's a business perspective. It's very good. But even from a personal perspective, like entertainment, it's always nice. It's always good value.
So leading into that, what did you take out of it as an experience?
Yeah, I take out that experience of understanding what Italian culture is like, what it is. For me, it's really important that my wife, who is an Italian, gets to experience some of that stuff, because she's not grown up in an environment that I have, and we've only married a couple of years ago, so for her, the Italian culture and all that energy is a relatively new experience. And it's important from my point of view that she understands the sort of passions that you have about certain things, about Italian food and Italian cars and that sort of thing. So that's what I get out of it. I get out of it the fact that I can liaise with people and communicate with people who are similar to me. And a lot of the people I meet are in fact very similar. They probably were born in Australia. They had Italian parents, so they know a lot about Italian and what the culture's like, but probably haven't kept that going as they've grown up. They've gone more into an Australian type of family life as opposed to the Italian family. So it's nice to see that other people have had the same experience that I've had about you try and distance yourself from being Italian when you're younger, because it wasn't that fashionable to be an Italian, whereas now very much want people to know that you're Italian, and even Sicilian, to the point where you're very proud of that heritage, and you're happy to promote it in mixed company, because I think Italians generally, the perception of Italians in the Australian community has improved enormously since the 60s and 70s when I was growing up. They were the greasy wogs, very very conscientious, very industrious, but were making other people look bad. They were working so hard. They were the boss's favourites, all that sort of stuff. Whereas now, I think most people realise that Italians they're just very passionate. They want to do something, they'll do it very well. It's not normally half measures, so that's just part of who they are.
Do you usually buy any of these brands, Mark, and why?
I don't buy Ferraris, so I can't actually afford them. But water, the Gucci, I've certainly bought some of those brands. And they're all high quality brands. They all have a perception or an image of quality. So each one of them, I think, if you're in the market for that product and that product is within your price range, then chances are you'll buy it. I say they're high quality products. I don't stay at Versace's down the coast often. I have been there, but I don't stay often because it's very expensive. I'd love to have a Ferrari, not so much a bike, but a Ferrari. But what else was there? Was the
Gucci.
Gucci, yeah. I bought heaps of perfumes and stuff, Gucci's, handbags.
Do you have over there?
Yep.
So you bought some of these before. Do you still buy them? And
It's not I wouldn't buy them.
So the same quality and usage is fairly consistent.
Yeah, I can't.
When you can.
I really can't say. I can't say that it's any different before or after. Probably now, because it's much more indoctrinated into the Italian community, I would go looking at or go trying to find Italian brands if I was aware of that they made a certain product.
Which brands did you get to know during Italian Week? And do you buy them frequently or ever?
Not that I got to know. I knew all those brands previously. But they
not these brands, but in general.
In general. Okay.
Like we
certainly
coffee was there. Did you use them before?
I have used them before. I don't think I could say that my usage has changed as a result of being there. Certainly, one thing that has changed is I drink a lot more Italian wines now than I ever did.
Yeah.
But I've struck up a really good relationship with Phil Data.
Yep.
And so I use Phil's wines in my client hampers.
Yep.
And we go out, so I get to taste a lot of the Italian wines and things like that. So that probably, without a doubt, would be one of the things. It's not necessarily a particular brand of wine, but Italian brands in general of wine. That's definitely what I would do more. And I think probably a bit more the Italian cooking, because you get to experience how the authentic chefs prepare their food. So Annie's very open to trying things at home, so we probably do a lot more of that, the making lasagna and things like that, whereas previously wouldn't have gone down that path. So that's probably. But those brands that you showed there before, Alexandra, they aren't part of the festival, are they?
No, not in recent years.
Which begs the question, why aren't they part of the festival?
Good question. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Looking at this Dolce Far Niente Italian Week promo.
Yep.
What does it evoke for you?
Well, it evokes a period of the year where there's a whole lot of events happening, restaurants, cultural events, even like entertainment, like the waiters race and things like that. So, me, it evokes memories of a period during the year where it's very busy, but it's also very enjoyable.
Looking at this image, what is the message? What does it mean?
For me, it means that.
What is the message here?
Well, for me, it is be part of Italian Week. There's a whole lot of things that involves. It's not, there's not just eating out. There's a whole lot of events, cultural events. The fact that the lights are on in the city. So it's more a case of the energy that's being generated. That's associated with that particular week of the year.
how would you tell about this event to other people?
Actually, I'd say to other people that if they know anything about Italian culture and like Italian food, then it's a great week to experience a whole lot of culture and food and just that energy, because there's events happening all the time during that week. So if you're one that likes to dine out, you can go out every night of the week to different places. If you want some entertainment, like cultural things, there'll be artists that are performing that have the Italian theme, the Italian background. So for me, it's like, if you like Italy, if you like Italian culture, if you like associating with Italians, great place, a great time of the year, great event to get involved with.
Last question. Which words would you use to define Italian?
The words. Okay. The words I'd use would be high energy, lots of entertainment. So these aren't actually words, it's just phrases, associating with Italian people, getting a sense of that heritage that I grew up with, my parents knew. I think it's good. It's nice to see the lights on. Again, you associate the colours with Italy, and it's something to be proud of. That the place then is designated as being Italian. I think this, for me, it's like a whole lot of events. So much that you can't get to all of them, but it's nice to have the variety. You can pick and choose the ones you want to go to. And for Franny and I, a lot of it will be around dining with groups of Italians, trying different restaurants, that sort of thing, and maybe some stuff in the malls and that sort of stuff. But that's probably how we spend our time during Italian week.
Yeah.